Dear students, Namaste and welcome back to a new mathematics session. In the previous session, we have discussed question number 6 to 11 from exercise 13.3. Hope it was clear for you all. In today's session, we shall discuss the remaining problems from exercise 13.3 and also will discuss random variable and probability distribution. Let's move on to the topic. Next, we shall discuss question number 12. The question is, a card from a pack of 52 cards is lost. From the remaining cards of the pack, the two cards drawn and are found to be both diamonds. Find the probability of the lost card being a diamond. Once again, a card from a pack of 52 cards is lost. One card is lost. Now the balance is 51 cards. From the remaining cards, means the balance 51 cards of the pack, two cards are drawn and are found to be both diamonds. You are taking two cards out of these 51 cards and these two cards are found to be diamonds. Find the probability of the lost card being a diamond. You have to find out the probability of lost card being a diamond given that the two cards you are choosing, those two cards are diamonds. So let's assume E1 and E2. E1 be the lost card is diamond and E2 the lost card is not diamond. So one card out of 52 card is lost. E1 means the lost card is diamond. E2 means the lost card is not diamond. And A, here it is mentioned two cards you are choosing that are found to be both diamonds. So two cards drawn from the remaining deck of cards are diamonds. So that is we have taken as A. There are 52 cards in a deck of cards. Out of that, 13 cards are diamonds. And cards which are not diamonds is 52 minus 13, that is 39 cards. 39 cards are not diamonds. Now, P of E1 in the sense E1 it is already defined. The lost card is a diamond. Probability of the lost card is diamond in the sense there are 13 diamond cards are there. Out of 52, 13 cards. So 13 divided by 52, that is equal to 1 by 4. P of E2 in the sense E2 is the last card is not diamond. Not diamond in the sense out of this 39 only one chance will come. So 39 divided by 52. 39 by 52, that is 3 by 4. Here 13 is common, we can cancel it. So we will get as 3 by 4. Next is P of A given E1. A given E1 in the sense the probability of getting two diamond cards if lost card is diamond. P of A in the sense here it is mentioned two cards what we are drawing from the deck of cards, they are diamonds. So probability of choosing two diamond cards given that the lost card is diamond. That is equal to selecting two diamond cards from 13 minus 1 equal to 12 diamond cards, because here 13 minus 1 how it comes in the sense the lost card is diamond given that the E1 A given E1 in the sense the lost card is diamond. That is what the given condition for us, conditional probability. So the lost card is diamond means from the diamond set 1 will go, that is balance 12. Total 13 diamond cards were there. So 12 cards we have to, there is balance 12 cards and 2 cards you are choosing out of these 12 cards. And the denominator will be total number of outcome, that is selecting any two cards from 51 cards. One card is already lost, so out of 52 one going means 51 cards. We are choosing two cards from 51 cards. That is equal to 12C2 divided by 51C2. Here 12C2 in the sense choosing two items from 12 items, that is 12C2 possible ways. So this one you have already studied in class 11. NCR means if you are given n number of different items and you have to choose r number of items from it, then NCR gives the total number of ways possible. Here you have to choose two items from 12. So total number of ways possible is 12C2. The denominator out of 51, 2 we have to choose. The total number of possible ways is 51 C2. Let's recall the formula. NCR is equal to n factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r factorial. That is here 12C2 in the sense 12 factorial divided by r factorial, r is 2, r factorial into n minus r, that is 12 minus 2 is 10 factorial. And another one in the denominator 51c2 in the sense 51 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 51 minus 2, 49 factorial. Here little bit of calculation we can do. So 12 factorial in the sense 1 to 12 products, and here 10 factorial means 1 to 10 numbers product. So here in the numerator and denominator, the product of 1 to 10 numbers we can cancel it as common. Then the balance in the numerator is 11 and 12. Denominator is 2 factorial. The same thing here also. 51 means 1 to 51 products, product of the numbers from 1 to 51. 49 factorial means product of numbers from 1 to 49. So common 1 to 49 in the numerator and denominator we can cancel. The balance will be 50 into 51. Denominator is 2 factorial. So let's substitute in these values. So here 12 factorial by 2 factorial and 10 factorial is 12 into 11 by 2 factorial. I have already explained how this comes. Here when we calculate, it is 51 into 50 divided by 2 factorial. Now that is just a calculation 12 into 11. Here 2 factorial we can cancel in both in the numerator and denominator. 12 into 11 divided by 51 into 50. Let it be there. Next is P of A given E2. That is probability of getting 2 diamond cards if lost card is not a diamond. Here lost card is a diamond. Here lost card is not a diamond. Lost card is not a diamond in the sense all 13 cards will be there in diamonds. So selecting 2 diamond cards from 13 diamond cards divided by selecting 2 cards from 51 cards. Already 1 card is lost. Of course it is not diamond card, but from the total 1 will be reduced. So 51 cards. The same formula, NCR formula only, here we have to use 13C2 divided by 51C2. So here 2 items we have to choose from 13 items in 13C2 different ways, and here 2 items we have to choose from 51 total cards, that means 51C2 different ways. The same calculation only, 13C2 means 13 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 11 factorial. Product of numbers from 1 to 11 will be cancelled from the numerator and denominator. The numerator there is balance only 12 and 13. That is 12 into 13 divided by 2 factorial divided by denominator 51C2 we have calculated here 51 into 50 by 2 factorial. So 2 factorial we can cancel in the numerator and denominator. So 13 into 12 divided by 51 into 50. Now by using Bayes theorem we have to calculate P of E1 given A. E1 in the sense here the lost card is a diamond. That is what you have to calculate. The probability of the lost card being a diamond. That is P of E1. The condition given to us is the two cards what we are taking is diamonds. So P of E1 given A, that is equal to P of E1 into P of A given E1 divided by P of E1 into P of A given E1 plus P of E2 into P of A given E2. Let's substitute the values here. P of E1 here we are having 1 by 4 into A given E1, it is calculated here 12 into 11 divided by 51 into 50 divided by P of E1 into A given E1, same quantity as in the numerator, plus P of E2 into A given E2. P of E2 is 3 by 4. So 3 by 4 into A given E2 is here 13 into 12 by 51 into 50. So let's find out the common terms in the numerator and denominator. 1 by 4, 12 divided by 51 into 50. This much is common in both the numerator and denominator. So let's take out from the denominator that value. 1 by 4 into 12 into 51 by 51 into 50. When we take out, only 11 balance in the first term. Here again 1 by 4, here it is 1 by 4 is there. Then 12 into 51 into 50. When we take out, the balance is here there is 1 3 and here there is a 13. So plus 3 into 13. Numerator just a rearrangement, that's all. So 1 by 4 into 12 by 51 into 50 can be cancelled from both numerator and denominator. We will get as 11 divided by 11 plus 3 into 13 is 39. Then 11 plus 39 we will get as 50. So 11 divided by 50 is the required probability. Next we shall discuss question number 13. It is a multiple choice question. Probability that A speaks truth is 4 by 5. A coin is tossed. A reports that a head appears. The probability that actually there was a head is 4 by 5, 1 by 2, 1 by 5 and 2 by 5. So here let's go through the question again. Probability that A speaks truth is 4 by 5. A is speaking the truth. The probability is given to you, that is 4 by 5. A coin is tossed. A is telling that head appears. But it may true or it may not true. It depends upon the credibility or the probability of he is speaking the truth. That is 4 by 5. We don't know whether he is speaking the truth or not. The probability that actually there was head is out of these four, one option we have to take. So let's find out. Let's assume E, that is A speaks the truth. F means not speaking the truth, means A is lying. And H, head appears on tossing a coin. So P of E, probability that A speaks the truth is 4 by 5. And P of F, probability that A lies, that is 1 minus P of E, that is equal to 1 minus 4 by 5, that is 1 by 5. Next is we have to go through a very important statement, that is, if a coin is tossed, it may result in either head or tail, no matter whether A is speaking the truth or A is lying. If a coin is tossed, you will get either head or tail. It is not depending upon A, whether A is speaking the truth or A is lying. It's not a matter. While tossing a coin, you will get always head or tail. The probability of getting head is 1 by 2, whether A is speaking the truth or not. Whether A is speaking truth also, or if A is lying also, the probability of getting head is 1 by 2. So probability of H given E, H given in the E in the sense, H probability of head appears given that E means A is speaking the truth. So I told you before, it's not related. So always the probability is 1 by 2 while tossing a coin. Next is P of H given F. H given F also the same thing, probability of getting a head given that A is lying. If it is given to you here, A lies. It is our assumption. F is A lies. So P of H given F is probability of getting a head if A lies. That also 1 by 2 only, because it is not related with A's answer. Then P of E given H. P of E given H in the sense A is speaking the truth given that a head is already appeared. P of E given H is equal to, the formula is P of E into P of H given E. P of E in the sense it is 4 by 5 and P of H given E is 1 by 2. Then divided by the total probability, that is 1 by 5 into 1 by 5 into 1 by 2 plus numerator, that is 4 by 5 into 1 by 2. That is equal to, just to multiply it, that is when you take the common things here, numerator 1 by 5 and 1 by 2, we can split it because here in the denominator 1 by 5 and 1 by 2 is common. So numerator also just split it, 1 by 5 into 1 by 2 into 4 divided by, when you take 1 by 5 into 1 by 2 in the denominator common, first term completely gone out, there is one balance, and here 1 by 5 and 1 by 2 going means balance only 4. So 1 plus 4 will come. So numerator, these two terms in the numerator and denominator can be cancelled. That is 4 divided by 1 plus 4 is 5. So 4 divided by 5 is the answer. 4 divided by 5 means option A. Option A is the correct one. Next we shall discuss question number 14. If A and B are two events such that A is a subset of B and P of B not equal to 0, then which of the following is correct? First option, P of A given B is equal to P of B by P of A. P of A given B is less than P of A. P of A given B is greater than or equal to P of A, and none of these. These are the four options given to us. Given condition is A and B are two events such that A is a subset of B. Given A is a subset of B, diagrammatically we can represent like this. A will come inside B because A is a subset of B. Means here common of A and B is A. Means A intersection B if you take, that is A. So A intersection B is equal to A. Let's take probability on both sides. P of A intersection B is equal to P of A. Now we know conditional probability formula. P of A given B is equal to P of A intersection B by P of B. So let's take P of B here and P of A given B here. That is P of B is equal to P of A intersection B divided by P of A given B. Just interchanging these two terms, P of A given B and P of B just interchanged. Now P of B is equal to P of A intersection B. We have calculated here from the diagram, that is P of A. Let's substitute P of A by P of A given B. So here P of A intersection B is removed and substituted P of A, because P of A intersection B is equal to P of A. It's given here. Then 0 less than P of B less than or equal to 1. Probability always lies between 0 and 1. So 0 less than P of B we have calculated. P of B is P of A by P of A given B is less than 1. Replace P of B by the value here. Now 0 into P of A given B less than P of A divided by P of A given B into P of A given B less than or equal to 1 into P of A given B. So what we have done here is, in this statement we just multiplied P of A given B. That is what we have done. 0 into P of A given B, then P of A divided by P of A given B into P of A given B less than or equal to 1 into P of A given B. We multiplied P of A given B in this statement. That is equal to 0 into any quantity, same 0. P of A divided by P of A given B into P of A given B, both cancelled. P of A given B, P of A is the balance, less than or equal to 1 into P of A given B is P of A given B. So we got 0 less than P of A less than or equal to P of A given B. That means P of A given B is greater than or equal to P of A. Means our option C is the correct one. So we have to mark the option C. Next we shall discuss random variables and its probability distributions. For every random experiment we write a sample space. Random experiment, we know the result of the experiment, it is not sure. Such experiments are called random experiment. If a random experiment is there, we know how to write the sample space. So for example, consider a random experiment of throwing 2 coins. So when tossing 2 coins, we will get the outcomes HH, HT, TH and TT. These are the 4 outcomes. Both heads, one head, one tail, one tail, one head, and then both are tails. And here these outcomes, or these HH, HT, TH and TT are symbols to represent the sample space. These are all just merely the symbols to represent the sample space. And for converting these symbols to real numbers, we use a function called a random variable. For converting these symbols, HH, HT, TH and TT, these symbols, for converting these symbols to real numbers, we use a function called a random variable. Let's see how it is converting. Let's assume a random variable x. X, we are just assigning x as a number of tails. When you check here in the first outcome HH, there is no tail, means x can take the value 0 here. And HT, here there is only one tail, so x can take the value 1. TH, here also one tail, so x can take the value 1. TT, here 2 values, so x can take 2 tails, so x can take the value 2. So x can take 3 values 0, 1, 1 and 2. If you arrange it, x can take 3 values 0, 1 and 2. Here 2 ones are there, so just make it 1. 0, 1 and 2. X can take these 3 values. Now here x is a function from S to R. S is our sample space to real numbers. X is a function from sample space to real numbers. This is the definition of random variables. Let's define it. A random variable is a real valued function whose domain is the sample space of a random experiment. A random variable is a real valued function whose domain is the sample space of a random experiment. So x from S to R. Now each element in the sample space is having its own probability. For example, HH is having its own probability, HT also having, TH also having, TT also having its own probability. So let's calculate these probabilities. P of HH. P of HH means 1 out of 4. So 1 by 4. P of HT also 1 by 4. P of TH also 1 by 4. And P of TT also 1 by 4. Now Let's take a table, or let's prepare a table. X, the possible values of x we have calculated 0, 1 and 2. So this is, we have put 0, 1 and 2. Then their corresponding probabilities. P of x means when x takes the value 0, x take the value 0 in the sense there is x, we know already, defined number of tails. So x0 in the sense no tail, no tail in the sense HH. So probability of HH we have calculated, that is 1 by 4. Then next to this one we can take, that is 2. X can take the value 2. 2 in the sense 2 tail. 2 tail we know that it is 1 by 4. Next is 1. In 2 probabilities are there here, x is taking the value 1, ht also there is one tail, th also there is one tail. So for calculating the probability of p of x is equal to 1 means we have to add these two probabilities, p of ht and p of th, that is 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4, that is 2 by 4, that is equal to 1 by 2. So let's write it as 1 by 2. How we have got 1 by 2? In the sense p of x is equal to 1 means one tail. There are two cases for one tail. Those two probabilities we have added. We have got the answer as 1 by 2. So we have filled that one. So this is called a probability distribution table. Here the probabilities we have distributed. So for 0 we have given the probability 1 by 4. For 1 we have given the probability 1 by 4. And for 2 we have given the probability 1 by 4. So this is called a probability distribution table. Here this p of x is having a property, that is when we add this one 1 by 4 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4, when we add these three probabilities, common LCM 4 if you take, 1 plus 2 plus 1, so 4 by 4 will get the value as 1. So when we add this p of x we will get the value 1. So this is the definition of probability distribution. The probability distribution of a random variable x in the system of numbers is x means x1, x2, etc. up to xn. Corresponding probabilities p of x means p1, p2, p3, etc. pn, where p of I greater than 0, such that sigma I is equal to 1 to n pi, means sum of the probabilities. Here we have done sum of the probabilities is 1, then I can take the values 1 to n. So this is the probability distribution. The probability distribution of a random variable x is the system of numbers. X means the values which can be taken, that is x1, x2, etc. up to xn, and the corresponding probabilities p of x we can write it as p1, p2, etc. pn, and sigma I is equal to 1 to n pi. The sum of the probabilities is equal to 1, that is I can take the value 1 to n. Next, we shall discuss the exercise questions. Question number 1. State which of the following are not the probability distribution of a random variable. Give reasons for your answer. The first table is x values 0, 1 and 2. Probabilities of x, there is 0.4, 0.4 and 0.2. We have to state whether this table represents the probability distribution of a random variable or not. For that, first we have to do the sum of the probabilities. Here given to us 0.4, 0.4 and 0.2. When you do the sum of the probabilities, it is 0.4 plus 0.4 plus 0.2. We will get as 1. 0.4 plus 0.4, that is 0.8. 0.8 plus 0.2, that is equal to 1. Since the sum of the probabilities are 1, the given table is a probability distribution of random variable. Next table is x values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and p of x. Probabilities of x are 0.1, 0.5, 0.2, then minus 0.1 and 0.3. So here when x is equal to 3, the probability is given to us minus 0.1. Probability lies between 0 and 1. It cannot be negative. So this is not a probability distribution of a random variable. So for x is equal to 3, p of x is equal to minus 0.1. Since the probability of any observation is not negative, therefore the given table is not a probability distribution of random variables. The third table is y is equal to minus 1, 0 and 1. Probabilities of y's are 0.6, 0.1 and 0.2. Sum of the probabilities, if you take 0.6 plus 0.1 plus 0.2. 0.6 plus 0.1 is 0.7. 0.7 plus 0.2 is 0.9. That is not equal to 1. So when we add the probabilities, we should get 1 for a probability distribution table. Thus, the given table is not a probability distribution of random variable because the sum of the probabilities are not equal to 1. Next table, Z values 3, 2, 1, 0, minus 1, and P of Z values 0 0.3, 0 0.2, 0 0.4, 0 0.1 and 0 0.05. So the sum of the probabilities, if you take 0 0.3 plus 0 0.2 plus 0 0.4 plus 0 0.1 plus 0 0.05, these are the values we have added. That is equal to 1.05. When we add 0 0.3 plus 0 0.2, we will get as 0 0.5 plus 0.4 is 0.9 plus 0.1 is 1 plus 0.05 is 1.05. That is not equal to 1. Therefore, the given table is not a probability distribution of random variable. Next, we shall discuss question number 2. The question is, an urn contains 5 red and 2 black balls. 2 balls are randomly drawn. Let x represents the number of black balls. What are the possible values of x? Is x a random variable? Here, an urn contains 5 red and 2 black balls. And 2 balls you are taking randomly. And x already defined, x represents the number of black balls. Here let us assume B represents a black ball, first letter of black, that is B, and R represents a red ball, first letter of red, that is R we have taken. Then 2 balls are selected, can be represented as blue, both can be blue and red and blue, both red. And here x represents the number of black balls that it is given to us. Then the possible values of x are 0, number of black balls 0, means both are red. Next is 1 black ball, means these two, blue red and red blue. And next is 2 in the sense 2 also black balls. So the possible values of x we have written. That is what the first question, what are the possible values of x? And next, is x a random variable? Yes, x is a random variable because all these are all the representation of the sample space, and this representation of sample space we have changed to the real numbers 0, 1 and 2. All possibilities are included. So x is a random variable. Move on to question number 3. The question is, let x represents the difference between the number of heads and the number of tails obtained when a coin is tossed 6 times. What are the possible values of x? Here x represents the difference between the number of heads and the number of tails. And the experiment given to us is a coin is tossed 6 times. What are the possible values of x? X means the difference between the number of heads and the number of tails. Here a coin is tossed 6 times and x represents the difference between the number of heads and the number of tails. X, it is already defined and given to us. X represents the difference between the number of heads and the number of tails. So the possible values of x are 6 heads and 0 tails. So all outcomes, first time you may get it as all 6 heads and no tails. So 6 head and 0 tails. So the difference between the number of heads and the number of tails. Difference means the bigger one minus the smaller one. Modulus value, that is 6 minus 0, that is equal to 6. The difference is 6. Next possibility is 5 head and 1 tail. Total 6 times we are doing. So 5 head and 1 tail possibilities are there. The difference is modulus of 5 minus 1, that is equal to 4. Next possibility is 4 head and 2 tail. That is modulus of 4 minus 2 is the difference. That is equal to 4 minus 2 is 2. Next is 3 head and 3 tail. 3 times we are getting head and 3 times we are getting tail. So 3 head and 3 tail, that is modulus of 3 minus 3 is the difference. 3 minus 3 is 0. Next is 2 head and 4 tail. 2 times we are getting head and 4 times we are getting the tail. Total 6 times. So here 2 minus 4, the difference, modulus value is 2. Next is 1 head and 5 tail. First time you are getting head and the remaining 5 times you are getting tail. So 1 minus 5 is the difference, that is equal to minus 4. So modulus value when you take, it comes as 4. Next is 0 head, no head and all the outcomes you are getting as tails. So 0 head and 6 tails, that is modulus of 0 minus 6, modulus of 0 minus 6 is 6. So these are the possible values of x. The possible values of x are 6, 4, 2 and 0. Here also same thing, 6, 4, 2 and 0. So one time writing is enough. The possible values of x are 6, 4, 2 and 0. Move on to question number 4. The question is, find the probability distribution of, first question, the number of heads in 2 tosses of a coin. Probability distribution only we have to write. So let x denotes the number of heads. That is what the question, number of heads in 2 tosses of a coin. So we toss a coin twice. We get 0 heads, 1 heads or 2 heads. These are the possible values of x. Here we have to find out the probability distribution, means the corresponding probabilities of these values. When x is equal to 0, when x is equal to 0 in the sense when there is no heads, what is the probability? When there is 1 head, what is the probability? And when there is 2 heads, what are the probabilities? That is what we have to write. So the values of x can be 0, 1 and 2. The probability distribution table we have to make like this. Values of x, they are 0, 1 and 2. The outcomes, when x is equal to 0, x is equal to 0 means number of heads is 0, means no heads. Will get us tail and tail, 2 tails. And the next one is x value is 1, that means there is only one head, means th or ht. These are the outcomes, possibilities. Then next is x is equal to 2. X is equal to 2 in the sense 2 also heads. So that is HH. So the number of outcomes when we count, it is, here it is TT, we will get only 1, and here THHT, that is 2 outcomes we are getting, and HH means there is only 1 outcome. P of x in the sense the total number of elements in the sample space when one coin is tossed 2 times, that is number of outcome is 4. So that is TT, TH, HT and HH. So 4 outcomes are there. So the probability of getting TT out of these 4 outcome is 1 divided by 4. And HT and TH, there are 2 outcomes out of 4. The required probability is 2 by 4, that is equal to 1 by 2. Next is probability of getting 2 heads, that is HH, only 1 element out of 4. So the probability is 1 divided by 4. The corresponding values of x we have written, and the corresponding probabilities also it is written. So the probability distribution is x values 0, 1 and 2. Corresponding probabilities, that is P of x is when x is equal to 0, 1 by 4. P of x when x is equal to 1 is 1 by 2. P of x when x is equal to 2 is 1 by 4. Next we shall discuss question number 2, the second part. Number of tails in the simultaneous tosses of 3 coins. Here we are tossing 3 coins and we have to check the number of tails. And we have to make the probability distribution table of number of tails when we are tossing 3 coins. So let x denotes the number of tails, and we toss 3 coins simultaneously. We can get 0 tails, 1 tail, 2 tails or 3 tails. Then the values of x can be 0, 1, 2 and 3. Let's make the table. X values we have written 0, 1, 2 and 3. So there will be 8 outcomes in a sample space when 3 dice are thrown, 3 coins are tossed to power 3, that is 8 outcomes will be there. So we need that total number of outcomes in a sample space for writing the probability. So the outcomes means when x is equal to 0, x is equal to 0 in the sense we get 0 tails. 0 tail means all heads, H, H, H. And when there is 1, when x is equal to 1, we can say only 1 tail. The possibilities are H, H, T, H, T, H and T, H, H. Then when x is equal to 2, when x is equal to 2 in the sense the number of tails 2 tails, that is THT, TTH and HTT. And when there is x is equal to 3, that means 3 also tails, we get TTT. So the number of outcomes when we write, there is only 1 outcome, and in this when x is equal to 1 there are 3 outcomes, when x is equal to 2 there are 3 outcomes, when x is equal to 3 there is only 1 outcome. So required probabilities when we write, when x is equal to 0 we are getting only 1 outcome, H, H, H out of 8. So the probability is 1 out of 8. Next is here we are getting 3 outcomes, the probability is 3 out of 8, and here also 3 outcomes we are getting out of 8. So when x is equal to 2, the probability is 3 by 8. When x is equal to 3, we are getting one outcome, that is 1 divided by 8. This 8 comes from the total number of elements in the sample space, because we are tossing 3 coins. 3 coins means the total number of elements in the sample space is 2 power 3, that is 8. So from here we can collect the required data, that is x values and the corresponding probabilities for making the probability distribution table. So x is equal to 0, 1, 2 and 3. From here it is written. The corresponding probabilities we have to collect and write. That is p of x is equal to 1 by 8, 3 by 8, 3 by 8 and 1 by 8. So this is the probability distribution table for question number 2. Next we shall discuss question number 3. Number of heads in 4 tosses of a coin. Let x denotes the number of heads. And here when we toss coins or 4 coins simultaneously, we can get the possible values of heads are 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Since it is 4 times we are throwing, the maximum number of heads is 4. So from 0 to 4 are the possible values of x. So here, since the number of coins are more, means number of tosses are more, 4 times you are tossing. If you feel difficulty to write the elements of the corresponding values x, that is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 separately, you can write the sample space together first, and from there you can collect these values, corresponding values. 0, how many outcomes are there? When there is 1 head, what are the outcomes are there? 2 heads, 3 heads, 4 heads and so on. So if you want to save the time, you can just simply neglect the sample space and you can just simply fill up the table like this. X values 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and outcomes when you write 0 heads. 0 heads means only tails, 4 times also tails, t, t, t and t. And when there is 1, x is equal to 1, there is only 1 head. So out of 4, 1 will be h and the remaining will be t. So t, 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 h and t, t, h, t, t, h, t, t, h, t, t, t. And when x is equal to 2 means 2 heads. So 2 heads in the sense 2 heads and 2 tail will be there, total 4 throws. So t, t, h, h, then t, h, h, t, h, h, t, t, h, t, t, h, t, h, t, h and h, t, h, t. And when there is x is equal to 3, h, 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 t and h, h, t, h, h, t, h, h, t, t, h, t. And when x is equal to 4, h, 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 h. This way of writing saves your time, and for writing the table this way you need practice. Please do not copy, simply do not copy, write it and learn. Then when x is equal to 0, there are total 16 elements in the sample space, because we are throwing 4 coins 4 times, or 4 tosses of a coin. Means 2 power 4. 2 power 4 is 16. So there are 16 elements in the sample space. Actually, we need only the number of elements in the sample space for writing the probability. So number of outcomes we get only 1. So the required probability is 1 out of 16 elements. And here total number of outcomes 1, 2, 3, 4 outcomes are there. So the probability is 4 divided by 16. When we cancel 4, we will get 1 by 4. Next here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements are there. 6 outcomes are there. That is 6 divided by 16 is the probability. When you cancel 2 here, 3 by 8 will come as the probability. And when x is equal to 3, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. So the probability is 4 by 16, that is equal to 1 by 4. And when x is equal to 4, we have only 1 element. So the probability is 1 divided by 16. So for writing the probability distribution, we need x values and their corresponding probabilities. Pick up and write, that is x is equal to the possible values of x are 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then the corresponding probabilities are 1 by 16, 1 by 4, 3 by 8, 1 by 4 and 1 by 16 that we have written here. So this is the probability distribution table for question number 3. Dear students, today we have discussed random variable and probability distribution, and we have solved first 4 questions from exercise 13.4. Hope it is clear for you all. And if you have any doubt while practicing, please note it and keep. We will discuss it during the discussion session. Thank you for watching.